questions, no answers. Answers, no questions. The who's, what's, when's, and where's, plus the how's and the why's is there. Questions, no answers. Answers, no questions.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Welcome back to Grinding State University. Welcome back to the curriculum. I hope you enjoy episode 3. If you haven't heard episode 3, matter of fact, just go back to episode 1 and just catch on up and come on back. And then you'll be caught up to episode 4, which is what is love and how do we love? Once again, welcome to episode 4, Konvo with Kenny. What is love and how do you love? That's a powerful word that in this generation, we have to unpack what does love mean? What is love? We throw that word around very negligently to the point it has lost its meaning, its weight, its brevity, its gravity, and people just throw it around like it's a colloquialism. I love you, 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 I love you. One love, one love, one love, my baby. I love you. You my dog. I love you. I love you. Oh, I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. I love you, bro. I love you, bro. Hey, bro. I love you. I love you. People say it so much, it's just empty. So we gotta fill it back up. We gotta fill it back up. So welcome to episode 4. What is love and how do you love? And one of the first things that we need to establish when it comes to love is a noun. Do you remember in school? A person, place, or a thing. So that would require nounship. Love is a noun, all right? It is also a verb, meaning it is an action word. Remember in school, a verb is an action word. So running is a verb. Talking is a verb. Walking is a verb. Eating is a verb. So loving is a verb. So that's how powerful the word love is. And unfortunately, we are speaking English, which is word art. It is a very artistic, bastard language that is pretty empty in itself. So it's kind of hard to grasp the true meaning of love when you have to use English, a bastard language that uses Latin letters. So excuse me, and I excuse you for having to communicate in English. And since we're speaking English, it's only right that we do the knowledge to the etymology of the word love. Old English, love is lufu, a noun and a verb, also Lufian. So lufu is the Old English word for love, Lufu, lufu, which means affection, friendliness, desire, or benevolence, used in both romantic and spiritual contexts. Now, the Old English, when you take it further back to the language that it stems from, which is Proto-Germanic. So the Proto-Germanic word for love, it goes from love to lufu to lubo or luban. So the Proto-Germanic word for love is lubo. And the root meaning is care, desire, affection, or joy. And now you take it from the Proto-Germanic back to the Old Norse, which is the Vikings. So basically, English stems from Viking tongue. So the word love in the Old Norse is lof, L-O-F, lof, which means to praise. And then the Gothic word for love is lubo. So you got love, back to lufu, further back to lubo, further back to loth, and then you go even further back to the Proto-Indo-Europe root of the Old Norse and Germanic tongue. You get lebe or lubo, Leubh, which means to care, desire, or love. And then the Latin is libet. So that's the etymology of the word love and the different way and where it stems from and why we say, so spell it Love with Latin letters from the Latin alphabet, because English doesn't have an alphabet. So that's the etymology. So now we're going to get into the next part to get a further, better understanding of this word love and how to apply it and where we all go wrong in our understanding of it. Now, as we segue into this next part, I probably should preface why I'm going to be referencing what I'm referencing. And I guess the best way I can explain it is that this is we're in the Western Hemisphere. We are here in the Western Hemisphere. I don't know where you are if you're a listener. I don't know where you may possibly be, but most of the listeners I would guess would be here in the West, which is the Western Hemisphere of the Earth. Now, this whole side of the planet at one time was unknown to the Eastern Hemisphere. And they called this the New World because they didn't know the Western Hemisphere was over here. Now, with that being said, these lands that we now live in, me myself speaking English and I'm not from Great Britain, is the proof that this whole side of the planet was colonized. North America and South America. It's all America, basically. You know, they try to, that's what English does. It's word art. They try to, well, it's a country, but it's a state because, like, pardon me. So it's just all word art. Canada, Mexico, the United States, it's North America, South America. So this whole western side of the planet is America. Okay? So now, with that being said, these lands were colonized by 4 nations: Great Britain, France, Portugal, and Spain. Okay? So 4 nations colonized this whole side of the planet. That's why everyone on this side of the planet speaks majority English or Spanish. Haiti, they speak French because that was part of the Louisiana Purchase. You know the history. In Brazil, they speak Portuguese. So there you go. And then you have French Canadians and all that. So that's proof that those 4 nations colonized this side of the planet because everybody on this side of the planet either speaks English, Spanish, French, or Portuguese. Okay? Now, those 4 nations at one time were colonized by the Roman Empire. So their cultures are heavily influenced by Latin culture due to the Roman Empire conquering majority of the East during their height. Okay? And before the Roman Empire, you had the Macedonian Greek Empire. And Alexander the Great went around the whole East and made sure that he Hellenized the whole known world at the time and spread Greek culture and Greek thought and Greek education and everything Greek. He spread around the whole East. Okay? So, Greco Roman culture has infused the whole West and has permeated their culture to this day. Even the Super Bowl has Roman numerals and it replicates the Colosseum of Rome. All stadiums do. All games replicate the Roman Colosseum games. Okay? That's another example of how Greco Roman culture has permeated our world to this day. The Olympics are from Greece. Okay? Olympus. All right. Now, with that being said, Greek thought influenced the whole West to this day. That's why they make us read the Iliad and the Odyssey and all that bullshit in school. So, now that we got that preface done, let's break down love further. Now, most of what most of us know about love, it comes from Greek culture because, once again, Greek thought and Greek philosophy has been spread throughout the known world and passed down through the ages. So, the breakdown of love from the Greek perspective, the first example of love or attribute would be eros. 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 And you can't refute the Greek culture because most fraternities and sororities are Greek. Greek. Okay. Once again. So you probably have heard this before, but this is a refresher. And if you haven't heard it before, this may help you have an understanding of how you can be given a myriad of different versions of love based on a myriad of different reasons that the person doesn't even know what they're doing. So, eros, romantic or passionate love, which is the word we get erotic. We get erotic from the word eros, which is romantic or passionate love. It represents sexual desire, attraction, and romantic intensity. It's associated with Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. So there's paganism attached to this form of love. There's worship attached to this type of love. So it's often seen as impulsive, consuming, and creative, both divine inspiration and dangerous obsession. Dangerous obsession. This is love. Okay? Yeah. So according to Plato, he later he later redefined it, and then it got passed down. So this guy, Plato, he gets to decide what love is and what love that you understand and express to this day. He redefined eros as the love that leads the soul toward beauty and truth, transforming physical attraction into spiritual elevation. Once again, there's worship attached to eros in this form of love. It is the worship of Aphrodite when you display this type of obsessive sexual desire for someone. So, yeah, okay. And the modern reflection of this form of love would be the spark of chemistry, lust, and falling madly in love. Like madly in love. I don't know if that's an oxymoron in itself. Madly in love. Okay. Greeks were some different individuals. Hence why, even to this day, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. madly in love. The spark of chemistry, lust. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas with Eros when you worship Aphrodite while you're expressing it. Okay, now the next form of love, number 2, philia, which we get the word Philadelphia, which is friendship or brotherly love. The root word for philosophy. So, philia. So, philosophy is the love of wisdom. Alrighty. Aristotle described philia as one of the highest forms of love, shared virtue and goodwill between equals, not driven by passion, but by affection, trust, and shared purpose. The modern reflection of this would be the bond between close friends, teammates, or comrades who share mutual care and understanding. So that's philia. Number 3 would be storge. Storge. Storge, which is familial or parental love. Represents natural affection, especially between parents and children or among family, rooted in familiarity and dependency rather than attraction or choice. Once again, rooted in familiarity and dependency rather than attraction or choice. Seen as gentle, enduring, and protective, often unconditional. The modern reflection of this would be the warmth of a parent's love, sibling loyalty, or the emotional comfort of home. Number 4, agape, which would be divine or unconditional love. So, agape love is considered the highest and most selfless form of love, associated with spiritual, universal compassion, the love that expects nothing in return. Basically, early Christian theology adopted agape to describe God's love for humanity and humanity's love for God. Not this humanity, but anyway. It transcends emotion and becomes an act of will. Love as a moral choice and spiritual state. The modern reflection of agape would be compassion for all beings, forgiveness, or humanitarian love. Number 5 would be ludus. Ludus, Ludus, which is playful or flirtatious love. Not originally Greek, the term ludus comes from Latin, once again Greco Roman, but often included in Western interpretations of Greek concepts of love. So, ludus represents lighthearted teasing or flirtatious affection, the fun side of love, dancing, joking, playful banter. Ludus involves spontaneity, pleasure, and non serious emotional connection. Just playing around, fucking off. Ludus, probably where they get the word lewd from. Modern reflection would be flirting, the playful side of dating, or young love. Number 6 would be pragma. Pragma, Pragma, which is enduring or practical love. Derived from the word pragma, meaning deed or act. Represents mature, long lasting love built on commitment, duty, and understanding. Pragma, it grows over time, found in marriages, partnerships, and deep mutual respect. It's love that works through problems rather than being driven by passion. The modern reflection of this would be a long term marriage or relationship grounded in loyalty and balance. Number 7, Felucia, Felucia, which is self love. Felucia comes in two forms: healthy Felucia or Felucia, which is self respect, confidence, and self compassion. Unhealthy Felucia, the unhealthy side of it is vanity, arrogance, or narcissism. So, Felucia is what many suffer from today. The Greeks saw Felucia as necessary. You must love yourself properly before you can love others. How many times have we heard that in Western culture? So don't tell me the West has not directly affected your thinking. Okay, so now that we got an understanding of the eight attributes of love based on the Greco-Roman culture that has infused our education and paradigm for being born in the West that was been colonized by those cultures. That goes to show you, and I'm pretty sure you could think back to previous relationships or even with whoever you are with at this moment, what form or attribute of love they're expressing. And if you don't, take some time to pay attention. Pay attention to yourself and pay attention to your partner, and see what forms of love y'all express towards each other. Which attribute is basically your form of love. And now that we know the eight attributes of love, let's break down the five love languages. So the different languages that and those attributes can be expressed through. So that's the tricky part, because it's eight different attributes of love that could be expressed through five different languages. So it's hard to really pinpoint them. So that's how tricky love can get. So the first language of love would be words of affirmation. So someone could express one of those eight attributes of love through words of affirmation. So that could catch you with your guard down, because who doesn't like words of affirmation? But if someone has a form of mania love for you, but they're expressing it through words of affirmation, you don't even know that they're expressing mania, because they're giving you words of affirmation, which is a finesse. Anyway, words of affirmation will be love expressed through spoken or written words, compliments, encouragement, appreciation, and kind expressions. People with this love language feel loved when they are verbally acknowledged and affirmed. Negative words, criticism, or silence can deeply hurt them. So, examples of "I'm proud of you. You mean so much to me. I love how hard you work." So, someone can have mania for you and be giving you these words of affirmation because they know that you like that. So, this is how tricky so called love can be. The second language that someone could express eight attributes of love would be quality time. Love expressed through undivided attention and presence. So, someone could give you love expressed through undivided attention and presence, but they could be a narcissist and be practicing philautia. So you see how I could, yeah, okay. Let's keep it going. So that's number two, quality time. Love expressed through undivided attention and presence. Giving someone your full focus, listening deeply, and spending meaningful time together. Distractions, phones, or canceled plans can make them feel neglected if they like this form of love. So examples of this would be deep conversations without interruptions, taking a walk or sharing a meal together, creating memories through shared experiences. So some people give love by giving quality time, and some people like to feel loved by receiving quality time. So all these forms of love, or these languages, so to speak, can be spoken from both perspectives. They can either be spoken or received, given or received, because they're languages. So they're going to be expressed in different ways. So the third love language is receiving gifts. Some people like to give gifts to show love. Some people like to receive gifts to show love. Love expressed through thoughtful tokens or gestures. It's not about materialism, it's about the symbolism and thoughtfulness behind the gift. A person with this love language values tangible reminders of love and connection. Examples would be a handwritten note, flowers, or a surprise treat. Something meaningful that says, I was thinking about you. So some people like that. Number 4 would be acts of service. Love expressed through helpful actions. Doing something for your partner that makes their life easier or happier. It's the language of effort. Love proven through doing, not just saying. Laziness or neglect can feel like a lack of care. Examples would be cooking a meal, helping with errands, fixing something broken, saying, I'll take care of that for you. So some people like to be shown love in that way. Some people like to give love in that way. It's a language. And last would be physical touch. Number 5, physical touch, which is love expressed through physical connection and closeness. Hugs, hand holding, kisses, back rubs, any affectionate touch. It conveys warmth, security, and emotional presence. Physical distance or coldness can feel like rejection. Examples would be greeting with a hug, sitting close, or gentle touches during conversation, reassuring pats or cuddles. So, you got the 5 love languages, which are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch. Who don't like a little physical touch? So, everyone usually has a primary and a secondary love language. Understanding them helps improve relationships, not just romantic ones, but friendships, family bonds, and even professional respect. So, take that into account that everybody does express love in a different language. And if you don't know that, you may be very offensive in claiming that someone doesn't love you just because you don't understand how they love. And if you don't understand the different attributes of love that can be expressed through different languages, so you got 8 attributes that can be expressed through 5 languages. So that's why two people could be in a relationship and be arguing, but both saying that they love each other and they don't understand why there's a problem. Because that means you all do not understand your love language and you do not understand the different love attributes. And there are, according to the breakdown that we just went through, there are some unhealthy expressions and attributes of love. And that person can express those unhealthy, toxic traits and still feel deeply that they love you because they do. It's just unhealthy and toxic. So I, I guess it can be transformative because you can learn that that does exist. And someone could have a very positive love language, but be expressing an unhealthy attribute. So that could also cause toxicity and much misunderstanding within a relationship if you don't dive into that with your partner and first know it for yourself so that when you do interact with someone, you can bring that to the table, which basically is a segue to the next portion and the last portion of Convo with Kenny, episode 4. What is love and how do you love? Is that I would suggest with anyone that has told you that they love you and that you have told that you love them, that you all sit down and do what I call the love exam together, to where you get a piece of paper and just simply write love at the top, and or write love is with a semicolon, and then you write a whole list of what your understanding of love is, and just one word, it's basically synonyms, words that mean the same as love to you or different attributes of love. So when you tell someone you love them, you should be able to say what you mean by that. So you should be able to write a list that says, okay, love is empathy, love is compassion, love is patience, love is long suffering, love is caring, love is forgiving, etc., etc. So you should be able to write a somewhat lengthy list, depending on your age and your understanding. Whatever your list is, you should be able to write it with your partner separately, and then y'all come together at the table and you all sit and compare y'all answers. If you got 25 attributes on your paper and your partner only got 5, then there you go. You just saved yourself a lot of bullshit from the jump, because now y'all can have a discussion. Like, so this is all you willing to give when you tell somebody you only got 5 answers and I got 25? So we off balance from the gate, my baby. So that's an exercise you and your partner can do. And I advise and employ anybody to study this and put some serious thought into it. I know everybody has a different faith, and everyone may have a different ideology or theology that they follow. And with every religion and theology, love is infused in it, and allegedly is the foundation of those said religions. So go with your faith and add this knowledge to it, and figure this thing called love out, because it's getting bad out here, and people doing a lot of behaviors all with the banner of love. People create all kind of organizations and so-called revolutionary groups, and all everything is so-called in the name of love. But look how much destruction is in the world. Because it's a difference between the earth and the world. I'm not gonna blame the earth for the world's problems. The world is fucked up. But the world will tell you that it's a lovely place. And it's not. It's mania. That's what it is. This is straight mania in the world. If it is love, that's the kind of love it is. Mania. And the one that's narcissist. So yeah, okay. All right. Based on the Greek culture, because they show created this Western world. So yes, sit down with your partner, do the love exam, go over the 5 love languages, go over the 8 attributes, and y'all figure it out. Or it'll help you realize you might not be ready for love because it's too complicated. So first, do the healthy side of loving yourself and making sure you right, so that you do have a healthy outlook when you enter into a partnership with someone else. And watch your mouth. Don't just tell anybody that you love them. And don't believe everybody that tell you they love you. You did? So, with that being said, man, it's Kenny Breadwork, man. I thank y'all for listening. It's episode 4, Grinding State University, Konvo with Kenny. What is love? How do you love? Episode 4 is in the books. So, I say peace to you. It's Kenny Breadwork of the Breadwork Network. Work that subscribe button. It won't make your head hurt. We work for our bread so that our bread work for us. And that's something that me and you ain't got to discuss. Synagogue.
what's, when's, and where's. Plus the hows and the whys is there. Questions, no answers. Answers, no questions. The who's, what's, when's, and where's. Plus the hows and the whys is there. Questions, no answers. Answers, no questions.